welcome to another episode of the Let's Talk podcast. My name is Kamisha Whitaker-Moore, and tonight I am joined by my son, my handsome son, and co-host, Cam Bam.
What's up? What up?
I'm also joined by my big little brother, my handsome big little brother, Ron.
Thank you. How y'all doing? How's everyone doing?
And tonight we have a really good topic. I feel as if we do. We're going to be talking about fake it or face it. It's somewhat like fake it till you make it, but with a little bit of a twist. Have you ever gone to work, been around family, anything where you're faking that smile, you're faking emotions, you're faking all the things because it's just really not there? Well, tonight we're going to talk about it. We're going to talk about our journey, what we do, how we do it, and what we've done. And so we're just going to get into it. So you guys just sit back, relax, and enjoy the episode. Hello, everyone.
What's up? What's up?
All right, good. I seen you earlier, haven't seen you today, but up to now, doing okay?
Pretty good.
All right, you sound a little raspy,
A little bit,
okay,
know.
All right, we're going to make it through. We're going to make
Allergy
it
season.
through. For sure. Okay, so y'all, we're going to talk about that, all right? We're going to talk about faking it. We've all faked things. We've all, we've heard that saying, fake it till you make it, right? I know that sometimes with that, there comes like emotions and processes and different things like that. And so I just want to talk about it in depth. It may not even be something that you do, but I know this is something that I do, all right? I know that I'm not a morning person, okay? But when I get to work, I'm, good morning. I do this because I have done it for so long. I have faked it for so long to, honestly, it's a part of what I do every single morning. And that's just me. But I've also been that person that, I'm not going to say fake emotions, but I put my emotions aside because we've always been taught, or I've always been pushed into the strong sister role or the strong daughter role, to where I really don't get to process my feelings as well as I want to, if I'm just being honest. And so then what do you do with those emotions, right? So then you just kind of fake it, and then you just keep on, and then it becomes a part of who you are and what you do. And you really never process anything all the way through. Like some people process feelings like from start to finish. I never do. And that's like one of my things, to where I've done it for so long to where I can't undo it. And if I do, I don't even know how the outcome would be, if I'm just being honest with you. And then, there's a stigma behind mental health and, getting counseling and different things like that, especially amongst us, Black women, Black men, young Black men, different things like that. Not so much today, but seriously, when we grew up, it was, right? Because you're strong, you're tough, you're going to make it. You don't need, all you need is God. All you need to do is pray.
Right.
And sometimes you need somebody to talk to that's sitting in front of you. So let's talk about faking it, right? Let's just talk about some things that comes to mind, or, let's just talk about the topic, how you feel about it. Is there something that you do that you fake it or face it, that you fake for a long, long time till it's become a part of who you are and what you do?
Yes.
Okay.
Most definitely. Being the youngest
Mm-hmm.
of 6,
Mm-hmm.
mostly women.
Mm-hmm.
My brothers are there, but it's kind of like a little different era with them. Growing up with the girls, for the most part,
Yeah.
there's so many emotions, different emotions. You know what I mean?
Mm-hmm.
Sometimes, and just so that you don't become a part of I don't want to say problem, or
Right.
a part of the situation that's going on, I would have to just be like, just take a deep breath, bite my tongue. I want to be like, well, hey, if you do this, it'll be better. If you do this, that'll be better. But then at that moment, I'm like, I'm the little brother. You really not listening to me. So I would just let it just play out,
Mm-hmm.
because my input would probably just put more fuel to the fire at times.
Gotcha.
And a lot of other times I would rather just be quiet.
Yeah.
Because sometimes if you let people talk long enough,
Mm-hmm.
they'll hear themselves.
Yeah, for sure.
And then they could come up with a solution then,
Yeah.
or feel like a fool then. Either
Right.
or.
I totally get it. I think that with me, sometimes I do talk. I do talk out loud. And once I do talk out loud, sometimes I can figure things out on my own. I don't feel like a fool, but I do feel like, okay, I got this. And so sometimes I just need somebody to just listen to me and not fight for me, but just listen to me and let me go ahead and figure some things out. I can remember um, fake it or face it with me. The very first, I'm not gonna say the very first time, but I remember like when my grandmother passed away, right? Um, Myrtle Faye Whitaker, right? That was my girl. And when she passed away, I remember feeling some type of way. I remember feeling super sad. I remember feeling just like hurt, like I lost a big part of who I was, but I couldn't. And then I remember this vividly. I remember going down there and Granny died at home, right? She was in the bed. She had passed at home. And I remember the funeral home coming to pick her up. I remember talking to this man and I remember telling him just straight up, you will not, I need you to do this, that, and the third, right? And then I remember like crying. Like I felt tears when they rolled away with her. I felt tears just like, I felt my heart just like shatter. And then my daddy came up and said, don't cry. You okay. You got to be strong. In that moment, I cleaned my face. I stopped crying because I'm like, if he expects me to be strong, I feel like I'm being strong for him. Because in that moment, I felt like if I broke down like I wanted to, he would break down as well. And he didn't want to. Because as a man and as an old school man, it was no crying with my father. You know what I'm saying? And
Exactly.
so it's just like if I broke, he was going to break and he didn't want to break.
Right.
And so at that moment in my life, I'm like, okay, I did not break. I held it together. Even at her funeral, they asked me to do some things at her funeral, and I felt like breaking, but I did not because that was one of the hardest things for me to do. Because in that moment, I knew that my dad looked at me as to be the strong one, and I didn't want that title, but I did it for him anyway. And so with that, it stuck, and I can't unstick it if that makes sense. That is
Makes
improper
complete sense.
English, but that makes, you know what I'm saying?
Perfect.
So you fake things for so long, but yet and still, once you fake it, it's just like you have all these emotions that are inside of you that you want to just like release and let go, but you can't because your mom says that you're strong. Your dad says that you're strong. Your children feel like you're strong. You know, your brothers feel like you're strong. And honestly, you're at the point of breaking
Mm.
because you're not. You're not strong and you don't feel like you're strong, but yet and still, when people look at you and think that you are, you got to fake it. How long does faking go? How long does it take you? You know what I'm
Mm.
saying? Before you crash and burn.
For me,
Mm-hmm.
that 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 mentality of not being to express yourself
Mm-hmm.
through emotions, it made me a hard person.
Mm-hmm.
It made me numb because still being the youngest, at some point I became the biggest too.
Mm-hmm.
And everyone expected me to, you know what I'm saying, like, well, my pops, old school, we don't cry, you don't show your emotions, you just do what it take, get from point A to point B,
Mm-hmm.
and that's what you do.
Right.
Men they take care of business, they don't complain about it. As being a black man, that is unhealthy.
It is,
It's
for sure.
unhealthy, and it took me so long to understand that, to where that I found myself in dark situations
Mm-hmm.
because I didn't know how um to play out my emotions.
Mm-hmm.
So like I said, it made me numb.
Right.
So, and I had this thing where if I cried or I felt like crying, it made me feel weak. And if I felt weak, then I felt powerless. And that in turn made me angry.
Right.
Even to the point to where that if people surprised me or scared me, it didn't scare me, it made me angry.
Right.
So it made me an angry person for a while.
Mm-hmm.
And I acted out in, a lot of different
Yeah.
ways. But it was a process. It was a journey to being able to develop your emotions and being able to talk about it and being able to not just go off,
Mm-hmm.
because I felt that
Yeah.
so many times, and I almost self-destructed so many times
Mm-hmm.
because That's what I believe.
Right.
That's what I believe. Going back to Granny's funeral, I didn't get to make it.
Mhm.
I was, I don't know if I was in Oklahoma City or Palestine there, but I remember it was ice on the ground
Mhm.
and I couldn't get it. I
Mhm.
couldn't make it there.
Mhm.
Ice trying to get there. Me and my big brother Joe,
Mhm.
we two meals the same way. And that time we kind of cried about it, but
Yeah. I
that's
got you.
what it is.
I totally understand that. Cam, what about you? I know that when everyone feels like, is there pressure with you? Do you fake it or face it when everyone thinks like, Cam is a basketball player, Cam does this, Cam does that, and is there ever a time when you feel like, you know what, I can't even express myself because everybody's like looking at me, telling me, doing all these things, and I just want to be me. I just want to be like, listen, back up, give me a little room, because I know as a mom, I know I pushed you hard. And I know there were conversations that we had or we didn't have that I heard through your sisters and brothers, like you pushing them too hard. But I was like, well, I'm his accountability partner, right? But when is that accountability, that mom that holds that accountability partner, when is she going too far? And then all of a sudden, you're not producing what you need to produce. You're out here just faking it because now the love is gone. It's done. Have you ever felt that way
Uh,
about anything?
I don't think necessarily like being pushed
Mm-hmm.
too hard. I mean, like we had conversations where I was just like, it would get like to the point where I'm like, I'm not trying to hear this right now because
Yeah.
I'm thinking about like just basketball in general, and then like not having the game I want to have. Then I got to hear from you about what was going on or what happened in case maybe stuff like that. But no, I don't think it was just being pushed too hard. But I sometimes, well, I wouldn't say now, but definitely when I was like in high school and
Mm.
then like first, second year in college, I always thought that like I needed to like become successful in basketball because if I didn't, then I feel like I let my whole family down because they've been like with me since day one.
Mm-hmm.
And if I wasn't to become successful in that, then like everybody's sacrifices pretty much meant nothing. That's how I thought about it
Yeah.
when I was
How long did you think about it like that?
mm, to be honest, probably like until I graduated
Really?
in Ottawa. Yeah, for real. Because like just people making sacrifices, school wise, money wise, stuff like that,
Mm-hmm.
coming to see me play. So I'm like, I got to return the favor somehow.
Yeah.
And then when I graduated and I came down here, it was like, okay, just being with the family and then realizing that basketball isn't just, I mean, I'm not, they don't think of me as just a basketball player. Like, I'm
Right.
like, I'm Cam, basically.
For sure.
And that was like, it was pretty much needed. That's why, like, when I say I didn't want to come down here, I didn't. But at the same time, like, I feel like I needed it
Yeah.
because being away from family for like 2 years and not like talking to everybody every day
Yeah.
and like seeing people's faces every Sunday, I just, that's kind of thought that I had when I was there. So,
I got you. That's I don't know. I should say that I'm shocked. And I really am because I never knew that's how you thought. I thought that you knew that um we as a family whole, we support each other. You know what I'm saying? So there's no expectations. I expected me as a mom, I expect from you um 110% out there in that court. But other than that, if the love of the game was done, then it was done. But I also feel like I was your accountability partner because when you lack or when you don't feel like, I'm like, let's go, let's go. But if you ever said that I don't want it and really meant it, then I'm like, okay, I understand that. But I know that you've said it, but I know that you didn't mean it because you said it out of emotions. You were frustrated and different things like that because I know my children. But to quit the love of the game of basketball, nah.
and that's the thing. Like, I obviously I love basketball very much, but it was just me thinking of like y'all as opposed to myself because I'm down there away from y'all.
Mm,
y'all are sacrificing a lot of stuff for me to be where I'm at.
Mhm.
So I just felt like I need to, you know, make something happen out of this so they can be happy and like they
Mm.
can feel like their sacrifices were worth something. If that
Right.
makes sense.
I totally get that. Man, we sacrifice for our children all day long. I mean, even if you're not doing anything, we definitely sacrifice. But in that moment, did it make you feel like, well, I know you said touched a little bit about it, but in that moment, did it make you feel like, I'm just, here I am faking it once again, with my family? Not at all. You didn't feel any
No,
of that?
no, no, I don't. No, definitely not. I knew that I still love to play basketball,
Yeah.
but at the same time, like it was just I would think about it a lot because like I don't know that just that middle part of like, sheesh. I know they would be happy if I was,
Hmm.
didn't be successful in this such a thing, and I know they still love me for who I am. But at the same time, I'm like I need to make sure that their sacrifices are worth something. If that makes sense.
Yeah, it,
Yeah.
it makes a lot of sense. It definitely does make a lot of sense. Bo, in your everyday, day to day, is there anything that I mean, other than like good morning, whatever, because you're not a morning person, is that in your day to day, do you fake anything like all day long to where it's just become a part of who you are? Like, or even at work, like going to work and here we go, you wake up, you hit that alarm, you wake up, you get dressed, you go to work, you don't want to, you just feel like, oh my God, I'm trapped in this situation. And then you do what you do, then you come home, and then there's a repeat cycle every single day.
Well, as far as going to work and getting up and doing all that stuff, I know that that's something that I need to do, something that I have to do. A lot of things as far as like when it comes to faking it and not showing my emotions now. It's a little bit hard for me because I'm so transparent. So you'll probably see it on my face. So if I really don't want to be here, I may say, okay, I'm gonna tell everybody to have a good morning. Y'all doing great. I'm gonna say that regardless, like if I feel it or not, because I feel like sometimes people need to hear that.
Mm-hmm.
Because I feel like at some point in time I needed to hear that.
Mm-hmm.
So I'm gonna tell people good morning, how you doing? I'll walk in the room, not in my department, and be like, hey, y'all doing a good job.
Mm-hmm.
And somebody will look and laugh. But I'm telling different people you're doing a good job because I see it in your eyes. It's like, what am I doing?
Yeah.
I hate being here. I don't want to be here.
Yeah.
But I feel like sometimes it like I know that I needed that at some point.
Yeah.
So people are, what I'm saying? We all individuals and we need someone to help us
Uplift that
sometimes,
day.
uplift us and just to help us keep going on.
For sure.
You know what I mean? Just to
That's
keep
true.
pushing.
That's true. I know at my job I have little nicknames for people. I mean, it's not even their name, but I just do it because it makes them smile, and then we kind of go through the day. Um, has there ever been a time where you were in a room with I mean, honestly, your friends ever invite you? You have a really good friend. His dad's, a doctor. Have you ever felt like out of place around people like that? Have you ever felt like, oh my God, let me fake it over here until, because I really don't feel out of place. I feel out of place, but I'm going to fake it and act like I really don't feel out of place. Have you
Um,
ever experienced anything like that?
no, I don't think so. But for one, like none of my friends ever made me feel like that.
Yeah.
But for two, like just me being who I am,
Hmm.
I mean, you gonna get the real me like 100% of the time.
Yeah.
So like, I never try to, or I never compare myself to anybody or in a situation or whatever the case may be.
Hmm.
I would, there would be sometimes I'd be like, "Sheesh, I wish I could,
Yeah.
have that or whatever." But never ever like faking it because that's I don't,
Gotcha.
I could never,
Oh.
could never do that.
Wouldn't
Well, I'm
feel
not
right
gonna
to
even
me,
lie, cause I know that I have before. I've been around like years ago. I went to this restaurant, and honestly, it was in like Dallas or wherever, Houston maybe. And we went to this restaurant, and I was like the only black person in there, right? And so you already feel a little bit uncomfortable because we're down here in Texarkana, where you go into a restaurant and you see everybody. then you go there and it's like you're the only black lady in the place, and so you start fidgeting, you kind of look around, but you kind of faking a smile like, oh my god, we're good, and then you feeling so out of place to where you just work yourself up, like some anxiety or different things like that. I've done that before, and I'm like, this is not even worth it. Either go in here and be you,
Mm.
or get out of here and go home.
It was
So I had to go in there and be me. And then I just like, I cannot be anybody but me, because if I am, that there's sometimes where I'm around people and I may get a little bit nervous because I know that I don't speak correct English all of the time. And I know that people chuckle about that, whatever the case may be on the podcast. But I don't, and I'm just being who I am. But other than that, that's about it. It's just like saying my words very carefully, saying what I say, and try to, correctly all the things. But other than that, I'm just like, I am who I am. I'm too old to try to be somebody else. So I'm not faking that. Either we could do it or we don't have to. Either invite me or you don't have to. And you don't have to because I'm okay. Because I'm one of those ones that can definitely stay at home and be good to go. How do y'all feel about mental health in the black community?
I feel like it's very important. Very important. Like, go back to the what we were talking about earlier, how our dad is old school and
Yeah.
didn't show emotions, and you know what I mean. Like, I knew he loved me. He tell the girls, I love you, give him a
Yeah.
hug and stuff, and he'll, my dad would give me a handshake and be like,
Mm-hmm.
that's what's up. I felt the love and I knew that's what it was, but me knowing how it put me on a path of not being to express myself or express my emotions. I make it a point to tell my nephews, I love you.
Mm-hmm.
Give them hugs. You know what I'm saying? You ain't never too tough. You know what I'm saying? Like with all the nephews, you never too tough to tell me you love me
Right.
or to give me a hug. And in turn, I think a lot of my nephews that have children or have nephews, nieces, even up under me, I think it's not a problem for them to say I love you or to hug them, or you know what I'm saying? Just it'd be the little things, you know what I mean? The little things that make you feel more comfortable.
Makes sense. It makes sense. I know. What about you, Kim? What do you feel about? How do you feel about mental health? Do you think that in the black community there is definitely like a stigma there? There's like, you shouldn't be going mental health, seeing somebody, talking to somebody about your emotions, your feelings, or whatever the case may be. You could do that at home, or as a black man, you're supposed to be strong and wear it on your chest and dig in, and it's gonna be okay. So, what do you think? How are you feeling about that?
Oh,
Would you ever go get help if you feel like you needed it?
to be honest, for me, I don't think a counselor or whatever the fact that is, I
Yeah.
don't think that that would be something that could like help me. I
Why?
feel like I just feel like it's just like, say for instance, like it's a person that obviously they're skilled at what they do, but
Mhm.
they don't know you.
Right.
So I feel like it wouldn't make sense for me to go to somebody that doesn't know anything about me.
Mhm.
Not tell you my problems, yeah. And everybody has an opinion
Mhm.
about, whatever, even though they might not give their opinions. I don't know how it works, but I just feel like it would be way beneficial if I was to talk to one of my family members that like actually knows me, and then they see my point of view,
Mhm.
and then they tell me something, and I try to get a different point of view or perspective about it.
Okay. Yeah.
Yeah,
Right.
but like Bo said, mental health is huge, and if you feel like you need to talk to a counselor or whatever, that's fine. But me personally, I don't think I could ever do it, because a lot of things for me is it just don't matter.
Yeah.
It's like it's I don't think it's anything is ever that big of a deal. And I've been emotional with you, and like that's the thing is, it's just if it matters enough, then I'll like if
Yeah.
it's weighing heavily, then I'll definitely talk to you about it. If not, then I just feel like it'll be fine within the next few days. To be
Is
honest,
it fine within the next few days?
I usually forget about it. To be honest, I'm so like completely honest. If something ever makes me mad or has me feeling the type of way,
Yeah.
just do what I do, and then a few days later, like
You're good.
I was mad about that. That's funny.
Hmm. What about you, Bo? Well, you've already expressed your thought about mental health, or yeah, okay. So me, quit saying personally, me on the side of that, um, I feel like it's to me, I feel like it's necessary for certain people, if I'm being honest. Because sometimes you can go through things and your family, like he said, your family can give their opinion on what they think, right? If you allow them to give them your opinion. But on the other end of that, yes, you know me, right? You know me. You know who I am and what I go through and different things like that. So with that, I feel as if I need to speak to someone else because I know that you know me, but I feel like as you knowing me, I'm gonna tell you 9 times out of 10, I'm gonna tell you what's going on, but I want you to be more so on my side, right? Where if you're not, then I'm like, okay, why am I even talking to you? So talking to someone else gives something or a different part of that because they don't know me. They don't know, what I'm coming in there for, whatever the case may be. So they have to take that piece of what I'm saying and internalize that and honestly throw it back on me to make me rethink or to think about what's going on and what I'm thinking, right? Because you don't know. I could say Joe Blow over here did this to me and I could be at fault as well. I just feel like I would love to have someone to speak to that really doesn't know who I am, but can definitely hear what I'm saying, take in count what I'm saying, and kind of go from there. Because if I'm being real, as a black woman that grew up in the church, we always heard you don't have to go to a counselor. All you need to do is just pray about it. All you need is Jesus.
Yeah.
And Jesus going to answer all your prayers and all the things that you are concerned with. And this is to be true. This is true. I believe this wholeheartedly. But sometimes in between times, let me talk to somebody that's sitting right here in my face that I can see you, you can see me, because there's so many things that I want to say that I would love to have conversation back as well, none judging, because family can judge and they can take other people's sides, but I want somebody that is super transparent with me, talking to me about, hey, you don't have to feel this way, because there are so many things that we as people go through that have the time people don't even know. We deal with past hurts that people don't even think about. Like my son was saying, he'll talk to me about different things and I definitely confide in him about things too. But how much can a 24-year-old hold from a 48-year-old mama? That's not his responsibility. And what if I'm having a problem with you? I don't want to talk to you about it. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
Because here we go with this mess again. So a lot of times we fake things so much till we become professionals at faking. And sometimes it is so hard to figure out the real from the fake because you've done it so long to where it's just a part of who you are at this moment. And then how do you heal from all that? How much more can you take, or how much more can you give of that fake mentality or that fakeness, and then until that real person comes out, and then they might be just ugly. All those emotions and everything just packed down. It, what daddy tell us? Pressure bust pipes.
Yeah.
I'm telling you. So I think mental health is something that honestly people definitely need to. If you're thinking about it, I feel like you just need to do it. I know that prayer works. I really do, and I say that all the time and wholeheartedly. But sometimes God gave us common sense. He gave people sense to do the things that they do to help the people like us. Okay? So I feel like God gives us sense too. You got something to say there,
Yeah, see, and it's funny because me and you, we think differently on that because in my opinion, like I think that a lot of people sugarcoat a lot of things.
Yeah.
And even the truth might hurt, but I'm a grown man. I'm big. I'm a big boy. So like I feel like I need the truth. That's why like when it comes to mental health, a lot of the things I try to keep to myself, and it might not be good, but at the same time, if I go to somebody about a certain situation, I don't want them to be necessarily on my side. I want to know like if I'm in the wrong or if they're in the wrong, and then like what I could have done better or what
Right.
they could have done better. I just feel like a lot of people, when you're coming to them emotionally, they want to pat your back and
Yeah.
they want to,
Yeah.
just make it easy
Yeah. Oh,
and
you didn't do
nice and
anything,
stuff like
Kim.
that.
It's everybody
That's what
else.
I'm saying.
Yeah.
I
I
don't want that. I
totally
don't
get
like
that
that
part.
either.
And to me, I pride myself as a mother on not doing that to my children. Now, if I've ever done that to you, please call me out. But I feel as if I think that Cameron is wrong, I'm gonna say you're wrong. I don't agree with that, or you should do this better, or I don't like this about the whole situation. Kaylin, Chris as well, because that's exactly how my mom used to be. Now she's gotten a little bit softer in her old age, and she would definitely agree with Bo and Joe wholeheartedly, and even Mark. But I just feel like people will definitely sugarcoat that, and so somebody outside that doesn't know who I am, you can't sugarcoat me because you don't know who I am. I could be a manipulator. I could be anything. You're listening to my situation, and you're giving me advice on what I should do, how to do it, and how I should be thinking. So you don't know who I am. So I feel like that to me, we definitely are
Yeah.
different on that. That's who I need. Because if I come and tell you, you're gonna say, "Sissy, I don't agree with you, but I understand what you," and then it don't matter because we family and I'm a ride or die. So where they at? You know what I'm saying?
And that's
So
me.
then
That's
right,
definitely
and
me.
that's you, and then my kids are as well. So it doesn't matter. Kim, maybe not so much. We were like, y'all grown,
Yeah, for
y'all
sure.
grown. Maybe not so much, but I feel as if this is something that is needed. I mean, a lot of people may disagree, but I really feel like it is something that is definitely needed. And if you need it, you need to get it because I feel like God gave somebody the sense in order to be able to provide some type of health or mental health for me, or like the doctors out here, they're out here making medications. Who gave them that common knowledge or that sense to make those medicines to help us with our ailments? I know ain't nobody did that but God. So if he could do that, I know he makes things for me to talk to somebody about my feelings and how I feel about different things because sometimes there's things that's in my mind and in my heart that I don't want to share with my family.
Right.
Right, and sometimes it's just something I would rather share with somebody that I don't know and go on about my business and figure that part out. But yeah, faking it till you make it, faking it or facing it, it's sometimes it's a little bit hard and we could talk about it all day, but it's a difficult situation in the way you feel, the way emotions are, the way you're put in positions, of like feeling like you don't belong, just different things like that. So, what do you do? And then you just kind of do the best you possibly can do and kind of keep on moving. But yeah, I know like even at your job, my job, different things like that. Sometimes we feel a certain way. Sometimes we feel like, you know what, hey, this is my team. And then sometimes you feel like I thought you were on my team, but you're really not my team because I thought we were on the same page. I thought that you cared about me just like I cared about you, but in reality, you don't care anything about me, and it bothers me. But then I I get it. You know what I'm saying? I get it, and then but I also know who I am, and I also know that with that, I'm a team of me when it comes to different things like that, and I got to protect me and my heart and my mental and then go to work, do what I got to do, and come on back to the house. Now, I don't hate anybody I work with. I love everybody, but sometimes when you sit there and look at things, you're a team of me, and you have to do what you got to do in order to get through the day. But yeah,
Mm.
so that's just me. Anybody have? What about you, Bo? You got anything you want to say?
I mean, I feel like I completely agree with what you're saying, and I agree with what Cam is saying. I think that I think that the first step to mental health is self accountability.
Yeah.
It's taking yourself, making you accountable for your own actions,
Mm-hmm.
and then the unbiased truth, the unjudgmental truth. And a lot of times we try to find ourselves in people,
Mm-hmm.
but you can't find yourself in nobody because that's what makes you you.
That's true
That's the
for sure.
uniqueness about yourself that makes you different from everyone else. I know a lot of times we want to be like, well, I know you get it. I know
Yeah,
you get it. But a lot of times they don't
they
get it
don't
at
get it.
all.
You're
And they're
right.
just saying that just because they want to stick with you.
Yeah.
And a lot of times, like, we have to, like me, myself personally, I do stick to my guns on a lot of different stuff. I am a very transparent person. If I do not like something, I don't like it.
Yeah.
And you'll probably can see it in my expressions unless I'm trying to calm the water.
Yeah.
But most of the times, I'm just in the water. And if you step in and it's not agreeing, then the water might start raging. You know what I mean? And we just got to, like, being better people. I'm trying to be a better
For
every
sure.
day.
I totally get
But
it.
I won't
totally
lie to
get it.
myself.
I totally get it. I understand that too. I really do. Sometimes I just kind of go with the flow to see how things are going to happen because honestly, you don't want to rock the boat. And when I say about rocking the boat, it's just like sometimes with family, you're like, oh my gosh, I don't feel like arguing today. I don't feel like getting into it with anybody today. So if this is something you feel like you want to do, go ahead. Let me figure out what we got going on and let me see. But I totally understand it and I totally get that. I think this episode honestly has been a good one. I think we talked the most out of the everybody.
I'm locked in and listen.
And then left Cam out a little bit. But I think it was needed for me, honestly. Sometimes talking out loud definitely helps me in my mental to really redirect myself to where I need to be because sometimes we fall for the okie doke. You know what I mean? And then sometimes you got to get back on track and then like, hey, girl, you got this. You roll with who you got, and who you got is you. And that's about it. And you keep on moving. So we're at the end of our podcast on today. It came rather quickly to me, but we always leave with a positive every single time. Cam, you want to start us out with a positive, or you want your uncle to start us out with a positive?
Oh, Bo got it.
You said, okay. Seniors first. Go ahead, Bo.
When it comes to mental health and being the better person and trying to get better, I think a lot of the times we have to learn to live outside of our head.
Mm-hmm.
We find ourselves living inside of our head, and in those moments, we're not living; we're just existing.
Right.
Because the world doesn't revolve around what happens or what we do. The world revolves on this axis regardless.
Right.
So what we do is just be better and teach better lessons. Teach emotional wellness between each other.
Gotcha.
And that's it for me.
Good job, Bo. I love it. What about you, Cam Bammy?
To piggyback off that, like he said, the world rotates anyway.
Mm-hmm.
When it comes to like mental health and stuff like that, it's just like I think of it as like you gotta take accountability first for what you did.
Mm-hmm.
Then after that, you should be able to figure out what's going on exactly. That's what I do.
Yeah.
When something ain't right, and I just like let me step back. Let me think about what I did because they could have maybe upset such and such or caused a situation.
Right.
Because people don't think about that. Like you get into a situation and like at the end of it, you're all upset, but like you didn't really understand that a person could have taken it like what you said in a whole different other way than you were trying to portray it.
So true.
That's why like that is so. When I was talking about mental health for me, it's just like because a lot of people know me, like I'm very nonchalant. I really don't get upset about a lot of things.
Yeah.
But because of the way that I think about the situations, so like say for instance, I was just joking with Bo, and he takes offense to what I said, like, and then why would I get upset at him because he's upset about what I said,
right?
And he didn't take it the right way,
right?
That's where all of it starts. So like, if he gets upset, okay, cool. Let me relax. Maybe I shouldn't have said that, or maybe let me try to explain to him that I didn't mean it in that way.
True. I got it.
So,
Makes sense. Makes perfect sense.
Just be accountable. That's the positive.
I got you for sure. For sure. You got to be accountable. My takeaway on today, well, not my takeaway, but my positive on today is more so with the fake it or face it. Sometimes we have to fake it. Okay. Sometimes it is what it is, and that's what it is. But also, please be aware that in your faking, don't lose who you are. Because sometimes we really have to, like, if we're not a morning person, then we're not a morning person. Fake it. Hey, everybody, do whatever you need to. You know what I mean? Because sometimes if you do it long enough, it will become habit. But in the meantime and in between times, sometimes we lose who we are because we're trying to fake it and trying to bring it to somebody else a different way. And that's not who we are. That's not how we built nothing. And it is tearing you up on the inside. It is eating you alive. And every day that you go home, you're miserable, you're sad. And it's just like you're doing all of this for who and for what? You better think about number one, and that's you. I was watching Roscoe Jenkins, Team of Me. I know that's selfish, but honestly, sometimes it is what it is. You got to think about you, nobody else but you. And if you need mental health, go do it. Please do it. Because honestly, don't be out here trying to self medicate, self diagnose, and anything like that. And you need somebody to talk to. God gave somebody some common sense to sit down there and talk to you about what you got going on. God is good and He will hear and heal and do all the things. But if you need to talk to somebody, please do. Please do. But don't lose yourself. All right. Anybody have anything they want to say? This is my first closing. We good? We good? You good too? All right. All right. So, guys, this is going to be the end of the episode. We hope that you enjoy. Please love our content, okay? I say love it, but it's a thumbs, so thumbs it up, like it. Subscribe to our content. We're definitely trying to grow our family over here on this side of town. And until the next one, guys. Peace.